Lin Wood, who formerly was the attorney for Kyle Rittenhouse and a bunch of other right-wing causes, is now lashing out at people like Sidney Powell, who previously had lashed out against Lin Wood, accusing him of basically stealing money from the Kyle Rittenhouse Legal Defense Fund. So in response to these most recent allegations from Sidney Powell, which she has repeated multiple times over the last few months, Lynwood decided to fire back this past week on his Telegram account in a rant that began on Friday of last week. In the rant, he accuses Powell and several other people, possibly even Donald Trump himself, of being deep state plants. Now, he doesn't elaborate as to what exactly they're being planted there to do, which, kind of seems like an important part of that conspiracy, right? You can't just say like, oh, they're all deep state, but for what purpose? To what end? So I'd love to get the other half of that story, Lynn. If you're willing to provide it to anybody, you can't just say, oh, they're deep state plants. Cool, but for what purpose? Planted there to do what? You kind of, if you're going to go all in on a conspiracy theory, you got to have that end part, the part where it all comes together, the cohesiveness, if you will. Again, Lynwood has been accused of stealing money, from the Kyle Rittenhouse Legal Defense Fund. There's now a legal dispute involving Kyle Rittenhouse's bail money that involves Lynwood. Sidney Powell has been harping on this for quite some time, accusing Wood of, taking advantage of that poor kid. And Powell recently accused him of being a grifter. Now Wood shoots back and says, nope, you're the grifters. You're the hucksters. And folks, the drama gets even weirder from there. Because according to Lin Wood, he has an associate that claims that Sidney Powell tried to, quote, bed him, which I'm assuming means Sidney Powell wanted to sleep with this associate of Lin Wood. And the associate swears there's text messages. He's got all of this, evidence that Powell was somehow trying to sleep with him, and how that ties into anything relevant whatsoever, we don't know. But Lin Wood thinks that this is obviously why Sidney Powell is coming out against him now, because she's upset that she didn't get to sleep with this friend of Lin Wood. This is so dumb. This is so dumb that I'm even shocked as I'm sitting here telling you what's happening, because this isn't something that we should have to talk about. But unfortunately, it is, because these individuals, believe it or not, are major players in today's Republican Party. If these were just a bunch of nobody weirdos having their own little personal drama, this wouldn't actually be a story. But the fact that these individuals, some of them, like Sidney Powell herself, still leading the charge of, the 2020 election was stolen, Wood out there saying the same thing. Hell, the two of them worked together on some of those cases before the falling out. So this is a real, actual big deal, believe it or not. And it's terrifying to think that this is what has become of American politics today and the American judicial system, which was already a joke to begin with. But then you got lawyers like Sidney Powell and Lin Wood running around out there making a even greater mockery of it. And all of this is America in 2021. It's horrifying. It's slightly hilarious at times. But at the end of the day, this kind of just shows us how far this country really has fallen. For people like this, like Wood and Powell, to be considered newsworthy, to be considered major players in the Republican Party, when behind the scenes, they're essentially engaging in high school level drama just because they can't seem to get along with each other? Or, more likely, because their two grifts are no longer cohesive and it's every person for themselves.